Hey, this is MassX with a solo leveling Arise video, and our first true set of developer notes has dropped for this game. And so yeah, I was very curious to go through this because honestly, I really like this game. I really like this game. My only issue with it is the loading issues, and I know that can be fixed. It has to be server issues, and it's got to be something they got to take care of because it's the only complaint I see over and over again from players, including myself. I mean, there's some other tidbits of stuff, but that's behind the scenes stuff that doesn't need to concern players themselves, nor does it threaten this game, because God knows it's exploding. 20 million downloads at this point already. If it wasn't for Wuthering Waves coming out, this would be the talk of basically all of May. And so you gotta be happy when they're already releasing these. They know their main competition is dropping in hours, so they gotta keep their player base. So yeah, it was great to see this drop. We've got new content, the Battlefield of Chaos, which they talk about, and I will have a link to these notes in there. So it's nice to see new content already being planned on. But if you saw their presentation before the release, you knew they had this mapped out for the rest of the year. So it was always exciting. Then you've got new content Gem, which was something I wasn't familiar with, and it says, we have put a lot of thought into presenting the Battlefield of Chaos and offering appealing rewards to hunters. We felt that simple rewards such as golden experience would not be enough to provide sufficient motivation to challenge new content. After careful consideration, we are revealing Gem as a new reward and content for our hunters. Obtain various gems while playing the Battlefield of Chaos and freely set the obtained gems to the newly added gem system. Equip gems and unlock the next levels of gems to power up. So yeah, and just another way to power up system. Of course, I'm sure people have already noticed, the talk has already been that we have Alicia coming in, new character. So be curious to see how this character plays. Let's see what the video looks like. Oh, it looks like it's pretty short, yeah. So it's just going to be a quick look. Oh, character design looks good. Be interesting to see. That's a very short teaser. Shame on you guys. You need a longer teaser for that. So yeah, so that's great. The guild system, they talk about that. They've been talking about that. So yeah, hopefully it will come sooner than later. I'm not holding my breath. Implementation of a guild system after a game is started takes a fair amount of work unless they already were preparing it in their code. So I'm glad that they're doing it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I wouldn't be shocked if that takes a little bit more time before it releases. Then they got the workshop of Brilliant Light, which they are talking about. We are preparing new content called Workshop of Brilliant Light to offer hunters another engaging gameplay experience. It's a challenge type content where various bosses appear. You will encounter powerful bosses, but will be able to weaken them through various methods and use methods to gain advantages in battle. Very cool. And then they've got improvements in balance and details. And I know this always scares people because they don't like to see things nerfed, especially if it's a limited or pay banner. But from looking at this, it looks like they're really focusing on the lesser used characters. And what I've read here, and of course you can read it yourself, it looks like some very smart moves to make these characters more playable, so they're going to be used more, and that is what you want. You want to make a game have all of its characters be useful in one way or the other. Yeah, not everyone will ever be top tier, but you just don't want those trash characters. It did catch me off guard that they had Silvermane in here though, but I understand what they're talking about here, that the during extreme attack beast form, the accuracy and rigidity of basic attacks will be improved, allows for more overwhelming and relentless attacks. I can see some tweaking on Silvermane, not like the other characters. They really needed it. Definitely Bora. But yeah, all of these changes, without just sitting here and reading it to you guys, are smart moves. I like where they're thinking, okay, let's look at what's not being played and see where those problems are, and let's address those. So kudos to the developers for doing that. The following hunters and weapons are also scheduled for adjustments. They've got SSR Min, SR Park, SSR Vulcan's Rage. Again, okay, and two other, the SSR Cha and SSR Choi. Don't get overly concerned, because adjustments doesn't always mean nerfing. It could mean something like there was a translation error or something that it was intended on. I always don't like to be thinking grim in these cases, because early on in the game, you rarely see huge nerfs. You see more adjustments up and more fixes to things that they might be doing something without the proper text or vice versa. So don't get too concerned when you see some of those characters, especially when they're limited banners, because that's a tough one, because you just sold something to somebody and you really have to take that into consideration, or you're going to turn off your fan base. You're going to get people seeking refunds, and that is not, I will lay money, there are already talks about how are we going to compete with the other big dogs that are releasing. They've got one in May and they've got one in July, and they know they have to keep their player base. They want to keep the retention there. They're off to a great start, so don't do anything stupid. And they know that. So I would be shocked if there's anything any adjustment that's really gonna upset anybody. But yeah, one of the other big things that I really thought was amazing that they're touching upon, and this is really a player consideration, and that's the SSR weapons. It takes a while to pull them, it requires a lot of time to power up. So now they're talking about having a future feature, say that 5 times fast, for SR weapons to allow you to craft those up, as well as crafting SR Hunter exclusive weapons. I love that, because you do have a base of players, free to play, very light spenders, that just aren't going to be able to pull enough of an SSR weapon, especially with dupes, but it's much easier to get those SRs. So if you're going to be able to upgrade those SR weapons, and maybe they don't call it an SSR, but maybe it's an SR Plus, where it gets close to those SSR weapons, it will allow them to compete better. It will make it easier for that base of players, and it will allow them to really fully enjoy and get farther into the content without the added stress. So I like that a lot. I think that's a big consideration for your players. I think that's absolutely amazing. And then on top of all that, they've done a 10-day check-in event for the 20 million downloads, which is absolutely stellar. More free stuff, more multis, more gold. I'll have all the links in here, but yeah, don't forget the login. This is crazy good. So yeah, if there's any way that they get this server lag figured out, I would be in 1000%. I still am playing it daily. I don't play for like 6 hours. I go in, I do my dailies first off, and if I have time later in the day, then I'm back in cruising through more story, etc. That's the other thing I like about this game. I don't feel that weight over my shoulder to absolutely have to be competing 24/7. I want to enjoy the story. I want to enjoy the gameplay. I want to enjoy the characters. And I like that about this game. I really do. So let me know your thoughts on these dev notes. Let me know if you're still playing the game and how much you enjoy it or don't enjoy it. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.